Hey, how's it going everyone? Hope you're doing well. Kermody here, back with another tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about creating bass patterns. This is something people inquire about quite a bit. How do you come up with bass patterns, and how do you come up with enough patterns to vary up a song and fill out an entire song? I think a lot of people get really stuck where they make like an 8-bar loop, a 16-bar loop, especially when it comes to, dubstep. They create the beginning of a drop, and then how do you continue it from there? How do you continue to vary it? So that's going to be entirely what this video is about. It's less about, technical production, more about kind of philosophy and a way of thinking and techniques you can put into practice. For this tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at my new track that just dropped called Prehistoric Nucleus off my new EP Chameleon that just dropped on Producer Dojo. Any support on the EP means the world, but not only that, I'm also going to be including some samples from this project in a free sample pack for you guys, which you can download in the description of this video. And lastly, one more thing before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Audeze headphones. Audeze creates just absolutely game-changing headphones. These are the headphones I'm wearing right now, and they've completely leveled up the way I mix and master music. And the Chameleon EP, I finished mixing on these headphones. These headphones were the final step in getting them sounding so polished and so clean. If you want to check out this video sponsor, I'm also going to link that in the description of the video. But without further ado, let's just dive right into it. So I've pulled up the session for Prehistoric Nucleus here, and let's just take a listen to the drop and kind of tune our ears and get into things.
Animals appeared in the sea.
So the entire song is kind of these two patterns. It goes this sort of bwow, bwow, bwang, bwow, bwow, bwang, and then reply bwow, wow, 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 bwow, wow, 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 wow. Excuse me, making it with my voice, but the entire song really is this type of pattern, and it holds this pretty much the entire time. And so much of the song really is that it's just drop after drop after drop. And then part two, same thing, drop after drop after drop. But I never really lose this pattern. Now, there's a few reasons for this. A, it makes songwriting really quick and easy when you come up with this pattern and you start to vary it. And B, it gives something memorable for the listeners. They know what to expect, even though you're throwing all these new sounds at them. So to actually properly look at this, I'm going to take you guys way back before this finished project file, and I'm going to take you to one of the first project files. So let's do that. Cool, so here we are. This is pretty much the first day I worked on this song. Excuse the horrendously messy session. I didn't want to hide anything from you guys, but the reason we're looking at it is because this is where I really came up with the pattern of this song. So this is in a really raw state. Let's just check it out. So let's break this into each kind of chunk that I came up with, and then let's see how this applies to the final session. So one of the first things I do in pretty much any drop, any genre, when I'm writing electro, trap, is I usually start with the first bass hit. Now I do usually have a drum pattern down first, but it can be ultra basic. It doesn't really matter. You can change this later, though the drum pattern does influence things. So come up with a drum pattern, then come up with the first bass hit. So in this case, I came up with this. It's a wah space gun. Let's see what the original source file was. So just this kind of bubbly little patch. I clearly chopped it so I could get a bit more precise. I can really kind of cut the dead air. But that's it. That's one. So the reason I made this MIDI track is right here. We can insert a MIDI clip, and we call this bass 1. And this will happen a lot. This will be the first hit. So bass 1. So then it goes bass 2. Now this is a fill. This here, anytime it's the end of a phrase, usually what I put there is something that's going to switch out. So it's kind of like main bass, fill. We're actually continuing this bass 2. So bass 2, fill bass. And fill, it can be basses, it can be drums. So we go bass 1. Let's come up with a color scheme. So we're going to go bass 1, bass 2, fills, bass 2, fills. Then let's see what this section is. So there's actually another fill. It goes fill, bass 3, bass 3. Let's give this a new color. Another fill. Another sound. And then it repeats. And this is the entire song. The entire song is really this basic core idea. Bass, reply, fill, new bass, fill, new bass. And the cool thing is once you have this sort of core idea, all you need to do is duplicate time, so Command-Shift-D, and start to vary that. So now we're on to a new section. Maybe for consistency, I'll keep the same first bass hit. So this one here, let's keep it the same. But maybe this sound will be different this time around. So maybe we'll go into this patch here. We've already got this cool other layers. Clearly I was already coming up with, different sound ideas, but we'll open up Serum here. Now how I vary it is actually going to be another video. I'm going to talk about how to change up bass presets in the next tutorial or the one after. This is actually going to be a little bit of a series in a way, kind of looking at techniques on the EP. But let's switch this one out. So this fill here, this could be anything you want. We could switch it out. Oh, that didn't even make the final cut of the song, but that's cool. And you can see here, I actually kept a lot of the patches because all I do is I go to a new section, I duplicate the preset, and again, we'll do a bigger video on this, and I checkerboard them like this. So new one here, the original one here, and we immediately start getting these patterns. Ignore I turned those on and off wrong. And then here would be the new bass. I turned those on and off wrong. And then this section would have a new sound here. So now let's jump back to the full session and really see that in context. So here we are, we're back in the session here. And now this big mess of basses makes a lot more sense. We go from track 10 or 11 to 52. Yeah, 52. So approximately 40 basses, and that seems like a lot, but it's not when you remember what we talked about with the repeating bass patterns. So let's check it out. So bass 1, bass 2. So bass 1, bass 2, fill, bass 2, bass 2, fill, bass 3, fill, bass 3. Now how does it, let's see how it repeats. I think the first time it's just a full repeat. Oh no, see, bass 1 is still bass 1, but it's slightly varied. And bass 2 is different. The fill's different, or actually fill might be the same. Oh, so I kept the fill. Different fill bass, different fill. Same bass. And then final fill to lead you into the next section, the repeat of the main hook, the main concept. So new bass 1, new bass 2, new fill. See what I mean? It's always changing. It's always giving the listener something exciting to grab onto, but then it'll repeat concepts and repeat the pattern as a whole, even if the sounds are changing. For example, here, this bass 3, it's the exact same pattern as this one, but it's a slightly different sound. And this repeats throughout the whole song. Same pattern, new sounds. Same notes, same timing, new sounds. Let's look at the second drop. The second drop, I introduced the triplet top tone going on, but otherwise it holds down the same thing. So the triplets, this calls back to the drop 1. Same triplets, just check it out here. Same concept, triplets, but still a bass 2. Like it's still placed where bass 2 was in the pattern. And finally, we speed up the triplet. That was the way of varying it. But you can see this ended up being a full-length song, but it all derived from one single 4 to 8 bar pattern. And, you know, this is pretty basic. You guys don't have to keep it that simple, but it's a really easy way to get a song done quickly and in a day. It stops the second guessing. It just means get one core idea, duplicate it, switch out the sounds, duplicate it, switch out the sounds. It makes it really interesting for the listener while still giving the song a core movement and a core vibe. So there we go, guys. I know that was a bit of a quick tutorial, not really a technical one. Once again, if you want to grab some samples from this song, if you liked some of the bass sounds, I'm going to include them in the description of this video. And I should say, I looked at my stats. There are a lot of you guys that check out my videos but aren't subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. It actually helps tremendously. Or even better, telling a friend or sharing a video with someone helps so much. Once again, my Chameleon EP is out now on Producer Dojo, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks, guys. I'm Kermode. Peace.